What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again and with another Operation Trebuchet news update. And this week, guys, I'm excited to share off with you a bunch of new stuff. Not quite as big as our normal videos, but still some exciting stuff nonetheless. Before we get into it, though, I just want to thank you, Roach and Data, who submitted screenshots onto the Discord. The first of which you are seeing from Roach here in the intro, and you guys will see more of those, and obviously the following week. So very excited. Thank you, guys. And if you guys want your images shared on the video, stuff like that in these intros, hop on over to the Discord here and share your image and credit them just like this one. Alright, guys, let's jump into it. Starting us off this week, we have the Scythe getting continued development from Thomas. So Bacon Shell Scythe here has the vibration issue fixed that we had last week. However, several new issues, which are arguably even worse, have arisen. As it turns out, the vibrational issue was related to ACE being enabled. With ACE taken off, however, a new issue has been discovered, and that is, for some reason, without ACE, the Scythe does not have collision. That shouldn't be the case, but that, for some reason, is happening. So that's kind of an issue, and obviously, we've got the Scythe being fired and going backwards. That's a unrelated issue that was kind of solved. It was just Thomas having some fun with the weapon, and I wanted to have some footage to show off with the weapon while I talked about it. So don't look too much into the thing flying backwards when it's firing, but the collision's obviously a little bit more of an issue since that's not solved as of right now. Hopefully by next week, though, they'll be squared away and the Scythe should be near ready to go, I would think. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's keep going on. So then we have some more news on the Bison II. Now this is some additional concept art which was shared with me from Braz. Pretty sweet looking vehicle here. He did share a number of other concept arts which they decided not to go with, so this is kind of the direction they're deciding to go in. They're continuing development on it and changing things as they go along. I was hoping to share the other stuff with you, but Braz said I couldn't share that, and maybe that's to avoid confusion or whatever. It doesn't really matter why. This is still a neat looking vehicle. I guess the entrance is in the back. Now some of the, I think I can kind of talk about some of the other concepts they had like a side entrance into the vehicle and stuff, which I don't see any apparent side entrances on here, so I'm assuming that this will have a rear loaded entrance, kind of similar to the current Bison. Also, like the current Bison, this concept art has a integrated tow system, which I'm assuming will just use the standard Spanker rocket launchers, which you can see is that little flap on the left side of the turret, which pops open. So not like the Bradley one that we currently have that lifts up. This will actually be much more integrated into the turret. Personally, I like that a lot more because it still keeps the integrated tow missile system, which I like. I really like that, while at the same time making it look a little bit more sleek, a little bit more futuristic. So I definitely dig this this new design. So then that brings us into First Contact already, because like I said, there isn't much to share this week. With First Contact, I literally just got these a little bit ago. There is a Covenant mortar being worked on, currently dubbed the Yeet cannon. I don't think there is any official cannon or even fan designs that this is based off of, but it is a Covenant mortar that Lux is working on. The model is a placeholder, but he's currently tweaking the weapon effects, strength, and all that stuff. They're just trying to get this as a functional weapon before they implement the model. It's kind of a backwards way of doing things. Most development usually goes, you model it, and you do your textures and your substance materials, all that stuff, and you get that all set to go, and you get the weapon looking pretty and in-game and good, and then you figure out getting it, how to get it to work. So they're doing it a little bit backwards than it's usually done. Now with that being said, these actually do look really good. Not the models. The models are just ugly looking placeholders. But from a functional standpoint, the rounds look good. They seem a little under strength, which before I even went to record this, Lux noted that himself and said he was going to increase the strength on these a tad bit. And yeah, they just look good, and pretty excited for them. Other than that, they seem like they function pretty well. There's some minor tweaks here and there that need to be done to improve them. They're going to come with two kinds of rounds, a standard tracking round or standard fire round, and then a guided round, which will probably somehow operate off of like a laser designator or something like that. That hasn't been decided 100% sure how that's going to work, because I guess that's not functioning properly. So I haven't had a chance to actually witness that and didn't question too much how that's going to work. Alright, so then that's going to go ahead and bring us on over to community. Now, as far as community goes, not much else to share. I've continued work on GAO, as I mentioned last week. However, not a whole lot more to share since last week. I've added a couple things, but not really anything super newsworthy. So we're going to go ahead and skip to our last thing here, which is Ethan's Halberd class Destroyer, which we've talked about a little bit in the past weeks. This thing is looking fantastic. It is in-game now. You guys can check out a early release of this and get feedback on it. If you head on over to Ethan's Discord, I will try to remember to put the link in the description. If it's not there, just let me know and I will add that in the comments or go back and add it in the description and let you guys know. Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what there is. So in this first picture, the first couple pictures, you guys are seeing the very top of the halberd with a small little building on top of the superstructure there. That is probably going to be a comms room or something like that. That's still kind of up in the air. It's not really been confirmed one way or the other for sure. But still pretty neat little room and everything there. Then you go down and you see the exterior shell of the bridge with a armor man there for scale. So you guys get a much better idea of the size of the bridge of the ship here by looking back at that. And you guys can see the guy in there. And if you look at the curves and everything from it, you'll have a much better idea of what the actual sizing on that is. So pretty decently sized bridge, but not like super duper huge, but still much larger than the Drake classes, obviously. Perhaps more interestingly is the drop pod bays, which I was giving a little bit of a diagram, I guess you could call it, this little hand-drawn thing with lines and everything. And Ethan said that in all likelihood, we're going to have up to 45 bays on each side of the ship. So obviously you're looking at a total of 90 drop pods carried on the Halberd Destroyer potentially. That's 5 pods on each of these lines, and there's about 10 pods in each bay, with the exception of 1 bay on each side, which would be 5, I presume. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. Aside from that, I don't really have much else to say, so I've got a couple glory shots of the Halberd in-game here, so I'm just going to leave that with some music, because it looks really awesome. Like I said, you guys can get this model yourselves. It actually hides his infantry fighting vehicle he was working on too, but yeah, I've just set it to turn simulation off, and that way it just floats in the air. It's not textured. There's no collision. There's no interior. But it looks fantastic. I guess if you guys really were desperate, you could use this for a mission or something. I definitely wouldn't recommend that, but I suppose if you wanted to, you could. Alright guys, I'll leave it to the music here for the last little bit. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.